This call is being recorded.
There we go.
Michael,
Yeah.
hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, snap.
Oh, this sucks.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? Interesting. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I'm back. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. All right.
So you said that you were excited to see I was a Gemini.
Absolutely, yeah. Honestly, I'm always excited to see that whenever uh, I see the reading is like with someone born in June or late May. I always get excited. I always think it's
Oh,
cool. Yeah, please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions, anything you'd like to mention. You're totally welcome. So
thank you.
yeah, with that being said, um, we know that your rising is in Scorpio, 27 degrees. And I love that you were born in 84 because 1984 is not only very pivotal as a year, but it's actually also the year we see um, the North Node in Gemini. And you've recently had a nodal return coming
Right.
out of the previous North Node transit. So there we go. Relative to that, wait a minute. That's so. Oh, look, yeah. Relative to that, uh, this actually, once again, I would even love to do a documentary on this year because Geminis born 83 and 84 are exceptionally uh, distinctly magical than most other Gemini vibrations. So it's actually very fascinating because the whole notion of Gemini, let's just say energy or magic, opposite Uranus in Sagittarius, hypercharges magic to a degree and level unhitherto heard of. It's very unconventional, and Sagittarius and Gemini are the fastest zodiac signs. So it could be a few things. Uranus falls in your first house as a late Scorpio rising. So that gives your personality a Uranian quality, even though as a Scorpio rising, you are the pure queen. And I can relate to this because my rising is 27 degrees Taurus. So for yours to be Scorpio, like a majority of your first house is going to be Sagittarius. I'm using the equal sign system.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is 27, every house. But if we were to use the whole sign system, then, Uranus would fall in your second. Your sun that falls in the seventh house would actually fall in the eighth house because you actually have an eighth house sun that falls into the seventh house. So,
Mm.
right, this is so. Let me explain that. If you were a Sagittarius rising, which you progressed into at some point, but
Mhm.
if you were born in Sagittarius rising, then your sun would be in the seventh house in Gemini, but you're born Scorpio rising. So Gemini is your eighth house. And now you're an eighth house sun that falls in the seventh house. So eighth house as an eighth house sun, people spill the beans and they don't know that they snitch on you every time. Sorry, they snitch on themselves to you every time because people will just tell you secrets about them and just feel called to just share you their innermost thoughts as you can listen to it. Or even if they don't, you'll just be able to tell by the way people talk what they're hiding. This is a
Mhm.
deeply like people may not realize that you can psychoanalyze someone in a few seconds based on their vocal tonality and what they say. You'll gain very deep insight into their psychological mind state. And they wouldn't even have to have told you anything. It could have just been like talking about the weather. And you'll be like, wow, she's not saying that enthusiastically. I
It's true.
and then you'll be right too. You'll be like, hey, are you
It's
okay? You're like,
true.
so that is definitely a superpower. I just want to note that. So that's the eighth house Gemini sun, right? But it falls into the seventh house. So this takes place in how the seventh house Gemini magic is you expressing the truth for other people. You're holding space and you're able to discern what other people are to you. And so it's like everything that you experience in the seventh is for the purpose of transforming minds and dealing with others. Because if the eighth house is New York and the seventh house is New Jersey, then your sun in Gemini is in New Jersey, but you're a New York cop, right? So
Got you.
right, even though you're in New Jersey, you know, you report to New York. You're just chilling on the border, let's just say. That's just kind of one analogy. So if we go back to Uranus, which is such a huge deal, that's why I was excited to see, okay, yeah, not only are you born Gemini season, but you have Uranus. I'm gonna attach an alien construct article about, of course, the presence of Uranus and Saturn near your rising. It's not exactly on the AC, but it's close enough. Uranus near the rising makes you an instrument alien, of making you alien gang. And this, of course, speaks of you being able to channel high frequency beings, express genius, um, talk to anyone of any station or status. It's just the Uranian nature now adds its own you know essence to your personality, and what this now does as a result is really trigger other people in how they see you, especially in Sagittarius, because your Uranus is now trans-Saturnian. It's the channeling aspect that's extra dimensional and enables us to literally pick up information and the truth from the causal realm of the mind outside of time and space, the Capricornian 3D structure. So in Sagittarius, this is your manifestation of clairvoyant visions that influencing your personality. People who are stupid will think you're crazy, super crazy.
Mhm.
It will
Mhm.
it will intimidate a lot of people because the genius you express is very progressive, and Sagittarius is wild in a way that doesn't really limit itself with more traditional expressions. So you'll show so this opposite Gemini now makes this Gemini vibration so much more hyper magical in that as you're telling people the truth, you're able to show it to them in the way you express your personality, in ways that make it harder to lie to you, but also ways that shock people. This now makes your very presence controversial because,
Mhm.
the main core of this is as a Gemini sun, you are an angel. You express enlightenment and you're the truth. Like you're the spirit of truth. And now
Mhm.
the North Node, right? You're the captain of your destiny group. And so you're one of the angels of destiny who were born this year that are meant to lead the charge. Every North Node in Gemini I've ever met, especially born 83 and 84, y'all are truthers. Y'all are just here to like expose the truth, share the,
Mhm.
especially, and so because the North Node is there, the challenge for you this lifetime is to really rest in the ascended value of your own confidence and your value, with Uranus here making this hyper unconventional, where you have limitless freedom and ascended value that, you know, relying on is one thing, but the challenge is to bring that vision and to invest in other people's minds who can hold space and, you know, communicate more of that with you, which is why it's a challenge, because, you know, to find the right people who you can trust with these ideas will really open up more, you know, what boundaries you have to place because of the Gemini in the seventh house and eighth house requirement, honesty. If someone is a liar, this is going to create every relationship conflict and issue that you'll have with Chiron, also in Gemini of healing communication, is due to somebody who you're dealing with who is a lying sack of crap or just
Mm.
very dishonest or they lie to themselves. So the universe is going to send people like that to you because with Chiron, healing is linked to your destiny and it's linked with your spirit. You're also a healing angel. You have healing communication. And this is emitted through your presence, your vibration, your aura, and your words. And it's a fancy way of saying that you trigger the bejesus out of people because the
I
truth
know.
almost as if like you breathe and it'll trigger people because the truth pisses people off before it sets them free. And you are set
Mhm.
free left and right. And whether they want to admit it or not, because you can literally say something and unexpectedly it changes the way someone thinks, especially if they didn't want to change that way of thinking. You make it so that they see things they can't unsee, which
Yeah.
direct right? Which directly contradict long-seated beliefs that, in your case as Pluto Libra, are prejudiced, sexist, racist, you know, just or just dumb. You know what I mean? And like,
Basically.
right. So it's really it's also amazing because you were born right before uh, Pluto entered back into Scorpio. So you have that 29 degrees, which we'll talk about because that's actually very, very, very legendary. It's very key here. In fact, I didn't even realize your moon is in Libra. So even though it's not exactly on Pluto, technically, as Alien Gang, you also have Pluto on your moon. So people never had a chance. This is something they'll never understand or know about you. Pluto vessel aliens can sense negativity, discovers other secrets, communicate with snakes and eagles, protect others from IRS audits, and reflect power back to others so they can own it. In Libra, this is such an extreme and keen receptive understanding of social dynamics that at the microaggressive level, you can break down someone's character socially and how they apply intelligence in situations so that no matter what they say and do, you can sense the negativity or pure nature of their intent. This
Mhm.
not only such a psychological breakdown of any character, but because this is in your 12th house, no one understands this about you. How you this because of how all this links, which we'll explain. For example, the general makeup of your entire archetype is strictly Plutonian. As a Scorpio rising with Pluto on your moon and your sun in the eighth house. So which is just mind blowing. So clearly you're here to transform people, awaken people, and destroy egos. It's this very exorcism vibe and purification vibe, and so deeply psychological. So there are layers of depth that within moments of connecting with someone and as you progress, you peel beneath the layer almost instantly. And it's going to be very hard for people to understand why you have such a deep understanding of them without really knowing them like that. And the way you communicate with them subconsciously will mirror how intimately you connect with them on subtle levels that can draw closeness, and have people reveal more of their secrets or just deeper facets. And the reason why they have to do this is with Chiron and Gemini, as you're listening, you say the right words to really heal any wounds, or if they have too much ego, it'll trigger those wounds mentally. And this is also you healing the trust issues that you have dealing with other people, especially because people universally feel that they have to just play Geminis because we have the mind, we have this youthful spirits of children. And so, we're, as angels, some people will see that as weakness. It happens to Virgo a lot, it happens to Aries, Cancer, and Gemini. Happens to a lot of people. But like with
Mhm.
Gemini, because of that youthful quality and because of how childlike we express the energy, it brings out, Gemini has a way of bringing out evil in people. And this is what inspires us to play dumb and have people play themselves. And especially as a Scorpio rising, this is a very essential, unique part of your personality where even if you don't set the intention to, you're deliberately drawing out the deeper facet of people, in the way you communicate, not in a way that's more like gossipy, but you're gonna ask the questions that really make somebody think really deeply to why they even feel the way they feel in the first place. And that's what can kind of catch people off guard too, because they'll feel like you're tapping into them in a sense that's like beyond their soul, like X-ray vision, which is another like Scorpioizing. So these are layers I wanted to establish. Once again, Uranus, that is in Sagittarius, is opposite, of course, Venus, and on the South Node, which is close enough to your AC. So the reason why Uranus in Sagittarius, or Uranus opposite the Sun, and Chiron can be tricky is, for example, whenever we see like Pluto opposite Sun or conjunct Sun, like Chris Brown has Pluto in Scorpio opposite his Sun, people
Mhm.
people extremely like hate him or love him. There's really no in between.
Right.
Like
No in between.
people are super obsessed with him. So it's kind of like that with Uranus. Instead, it's just instead of an obsession, uh, there's just this very, you draw out eccentricity within people because actually in a conversation with you, you're accelerating their mind so quickly that once again, if they're like dishonest or if they're just like if they don't have integrity, you're gonna draw out like the
That was
weirdness.
so disrespectful.
What happened? Oh snap! Did it just cut
Oh
off?
my st
Hello?
Michael.
Yeah.
I can't hear or see you though. I was interrupted. What do I do? I'm gonna get off and join again like I did before. I can. I'll call in with my phone. This was so mean. 716-748-0691.
That's Uranus. That's wild.
All right, I'm calling it now.
Cool. Huh. Hmm. Oh, hello.
I am so sorry.
No, actually, please don't apologize because you confirmed yet again something very important for me. What you just experienced was real-time interference from this Uranian vibration that actively can get in the way of communication. Uh, Oppositions in astrology are open enemies, right? And Uranus is extra dimensional. So whereas you can see Venus in the form of relationships, you can't see Neptune, you can't see Uranus. So Pluto oppositions, Uranus oppositions, Neptune oppositions are invisible enemies. And like you have that aspect where you can talk to somebody and you will say everything crystal clear, and like paranormal events happen so that that person doesn't understand what you're saying, or because this is Uranus, technology glitches. Is this
Mm.
maybe the only time something like this has happened? And before you answer that question, the reason why I know this was interference is every time I do readings with Aquariuses or Uranian people, this happens consistently. And since it's
Confirmation.
right, and since it's technology and invisible, it's easy for it to just look like a glitch, like, oh, okay, that was just a coincidence. My bad. But
No, you're
yeah,
fine.
have you noticed that though? Does that resonate?
It does, yes.
Wow.
Um, yeah, there are oftentimes delays, and sometimes I can say something crystal clear, and people still just don't get it. So yeah, no, I get that.
So much. Or because it's Uranus, they'll just swear you're crazy. When really you're a
That
genius.
part too.
And
Oh,
like
thank you.
and like legitimately genius too. So there's the conventional state of genius that's really still more based in like book smarts, and like Gemini is the smartest. Like we already got the smarts, but you kind of apply a more visual and philosophically genius application to how you take everything you say and show people what it means. And you attach that to your personality. So it's like you're actually embodying it. This connects to your second house. So this also makes unconventionally the way you manifest. And this is where, like, with that eighth house, seventh house North Node, you're using your own value to add to your wealth and other people's wealth. It's like you're taking your own vision once again, and you're investing in the right ideas, or you're taking your own money and you're destined to find the right investment channels to share your ideas with, or your money, and kind of extend more, or like who you're dealing with, and to create more trust through who you share this south nodal creation magic with. Something I want to really speak on, because once again, like the Uranus vibrates so fast, and with Mercury and Gemini here too, your brain processes information so brilliantly. You may not even register this as a vision, but just like a very fast thought, where you can just come into claircognizantly what's happening near instantly without the need. And so people without Virgo and Pisces, you're foregoing the need for inductive and deductive reasoning. So as people desperately try and gaslight you, what you're saying is still right. And so it can kind of scare people, because you're not really always providing real facts for what you're saying, but you're still right. And then the facts always come
Mm.
after anyway. And now the reason for this is, of course not. You're an angel. So like angels, like so. This is how people uh, kind of treat us. People kind of hold us to human standards, but our life forms are completely different as angelic beings. So now, as a Libra moon, you are the artistic angel, or the angel of justice. So what I mean by that is, especially with Pluto, you take the receptivity of the social nature of interactions and the nature of that character, and this enables you to express exactly to them what they are, what they're doing. And this is such a powerful connection as a pure queen, because this extends forth more your ideas creatively to understand exactly how to say what you're saying, tailor made to who you're talking to. So people can really feel like you understand them on a deep core level, because you do. As the messenger that's here to transform how they think, Chiron will intuitively speak to what they need to hear to trigger them so that it brings stuff up. And that's the challenge with the North Node, especially with Venus, how you form these relationships and how very erratic and eccentric romantic relationships can be here with Venus too. Albeit they have stabilized given Saturn going through here. But the last thing I wanted to speak on is as a Scorpio rising, Pluto rules your chart. And for Pluto to be 29 degrees at the 12th house now makes for, with Saturn and Mars here, a supernatural, legendary, extreme capability of psychoanalyzing things, people, and places, and just coming into the maximum understanding of one, what's transforming in relationships, but the deep occult hidden meaning of relationships and secrets that might be too saucy for people to really accept until it comes out into the light and boom, you were right. They thought you were crazy and that you were reaching, but they didn't know that your ability to discern things psychologically gives away the true nature of people's characters the first time you even shake their hand. And I mean, like Saturn and Mars here, a lot of the 12th house energy is all hidden enemies. So you're going to really sense this dynamic without really seeing the outward nature just based on how you feel about them. This is like you just feeling secrets about their character. Saturn on Mars adds so much discipline and strength to how you take action in very extremely determined, stubborn, but very, very intense ways. This is acting off on wisdom, and it's a certain form of Kundalini healing, but also it adds so much more strength to your action and tied to your personality. People won't really know this unless they piss you off or unless they like try and cross the line, because this is something you keep hidden unless you really need it. What does this mean? This is Mars and Saturn in Scorpio. So you're an angel. Like you're very pure. You're a pure social individual. Social as a social individual, you feel the need to socially connect. Um, and you have a very complex personality, but you're still an individual spirit. So you can feel the need to be social but still be yourself. It's just people don't know that you can catch a body and get away with the homicide if you have to. If you have to protect yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like you're very methodical and very, very wise in the way you can take action. That people wouldn't realize you're steps ahead. And with Jupiter, that is in the second house, the way you organize these manifestations and ground all this wisdom with Neptune adds so much more to your wisdom and power. Honestly, I really hate that I have to cut the call short. Your chart, once again, is phenomenal, but I'm going to send you this recording. Did you have any final questions?
No, I don't. Thank you for sending the recording and for your time today. And this is just the first time we'll be meeting. I'm going to bring people to you also. This is great.
Beautiful. I'm going to attach a discount code that you can use anytime you want to order a reading, and it'll get you 50% off.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And you can share that with whoever too. And you're gonna get the email from WeTransfer.
Okay.
Well, you stay blessed. It was definitely an
You
honor.
too. Thank you so much. Godspeed.
Likewise. I'm gonna send this to you right now.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Have a great day.
Likewise.